Thanks for watching Here to Stay TV. We're at the Global Business Travel Association meeting today, and I am with the belle of the Disruptor Ball, Uber, Mr. Peter Jonas, head of West Coast for Business. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
Well, I'm really delighted to have you here. What's it like working for a company that's really disrupting and changing things that they've always been?
It's amazing. It's amazing to be a part of a company that sees the future so clearly and is willing to take risks to execute on that vision.
Yeah. As a hotel industry guy, one of the things that I find interesting is that they seem to be scared yet embracing disruptors at the same time, right? They'll say negative things about disruptors, but I'll go to a conference and I'll be at the airport and everyone going to the conference is hailing an Uber. That must feel like pretty good.
Yeah, I think ultimately what speaks loudest is how people are behaving and the value of the product, the efficiency of it, the consistent experience is such that it's hard to turn down.
Now, you're in the Uber for Business section, so I have to ask you, why is it that travel managers are moving towards Uber? What is in it for them?
So, Uber for Business, just to take a step back for a second, when Uber first launched, immediately we saw major penetration in the business traveler segment. And what we saw as we dug into the data and started looking at the customer experiences, which is where we start with everything, when we looked at the customer experience, we saw businesses had inherently more friction. For the traveler, you're expensing, you're dealing with putting expense codes in after the fact. 50% of your receipts are ground transportation. Only 6 to 10% of the spend is associated with it. So it's disproportionately difficult.
And then there's guys like me who can't seem to get their act together to put it all in a single document.
So you end up paying for it.
Right.
Which we should talk about that.
Yeah.
And then you have the business side where there's this amazing efficiency happening that you definitely, as a travel manager, you want more of this 30% savings. Right? You want as much of this as possible. And for the travel managers, there were things that were missing. You couldn't manage it without Uber for Business. You couldn't put policies in place. There wasn't really a way to do any sort of centralized billing or efficiencies there. So there were a lot of areas where we saw an opportunity and we started to build. And then from there, we've built the entire Uber for Business platform and continue to build it off of solving exactly what we solved initially, which is a customer need.
So what does this all mean to the future of business travel?
I think we get to a place where business travel is more efficient than ever. And that can be anything from spending less time in lines or on shuttles, or as advanced as artificial intelligence and machine learning, streamlining the approvals process. So there's a lot that we can do here, and there's a pretty interesting future.
I like the idea of my company already knows the places that I have to go, so why go through the extra layers in order to get it approved? If the computers could just do it for me based on parameters, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and if you talk to any approving manager, it's 50% of the actual expenses are, 50% of the actual receipts are ground transportation, only 8% of the spend. This is not where people are spending their time in the approval process. This is not where your company is getting the most bang for their buck.
Right. Better to put the energy and time into other areas, let this kind of happen organically on its own. One other thing is you have a program called Uber Central.
Yeah,
what's that all about?
Uber Central. So our vision for Uber for Business is to be a platform on top of Uber that solves all of the potential business needs of any business out there. So when you think about what Uber does, we do two things. We move people and we move things. For businesses, that means we're moving employees, business travel. It means we're moving customers, Uber Central. And it means that we're moving things, goods, things like Uber Eats. So the customers, Uber Central is solving that problem. So you want to send someone from your hotel to the airport rather than flagging a cab. If you're in a remote location as a hotel, you can do that. If you go to drop off your car at an auto dealership, right, they're going to fix your car. Do you want to get in a shuttle and be delivered more similarly to a pizza? Or do you want to actually get in a car and continue that level of service that you come to expect with your dealership in that journey home? So these are the sorts of things that we're thinking about with Uber Central. It's an amazingly powerful platform for you to be able to order rides as a business for someone else.
Well, I like the idea that someone can order a ride for me, and I can get in the back seat, do my business call, and maybe eat some pizza at the same exact time. So a lot of great things happening with Uber, and we're changing with the future of business traveler. These guys are some amazing disruptors. I'm Glenn Haussman. Thanks for watching.